It's your boy HD. Everybody get up on the dance floor and go, and go, and go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. And go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the old to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. Eastside homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up yo Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make you work it out. Turn the volume up loud. It's a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the frenzy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hey. What's going on, everybody? What is going on? What is going on? It is 8:03. It is this beautiful, rainy-ish Tuesday here in Oklahoma City, and it is time for the scoop. Okay, we are glad that you have carved out a few minutes to chill out with your people on the beginning of this here week. If you were like me, you had a weekend that also felt like a weekday. So, it might be blurring together for you. So we're going to give you a little relief for a few minutes here on this pocket early at the beginning of this week. So please get comfortable. Go ahead and get your chargers, get plugged in, send the children on out the room, get them situated, and let's have a good show. Okay. So all of our new peeps, as you guys come on in here in this room, we invite you. We say thank you. We welcome you for joining the cool kids on this evening. What we do around here when you come on in the house. I don't know if you old school like us, but down here, around here, when you come in the room, you say what's up to everybody. Straight up, KG, like for real. It felt out the sky. But around here, when you come in somebody's house, you introduce yourself, you say what's up to the people in the room, and then you get comfortable. So what we would like for you to do to go on and get comfortable with the scoop this evening is drop your city and the state in the comment section. That's how we say what's up around here. Just that's letting everybody know where you're repping, where you're comfy. Maybe you can find a friend here in the comment section and reach out and touch somebody real good. But we do like to know where you all are tuning in from. So if you would please drop your city and state in the comment section, we would so greatly appreciate it. Also, while you chilling down there in that comment area, if you would please also hit that share button. Let your people know. Okay, all your people need to know where the good conversation is flowing on this evening, and that is right here on the scoop. So if you share this live over to your people, then we would so greatly appreciate that as well, because if they are your folks, we would invite them to become our folks as well. Okay, they cool with you? They can sit with us. They can come on and sit with us, at least for this evening. Okay, they can come on and chill out with us. What's up, Norman? What's up, Norman, Oklahoma? Yeah, y'all got it today. Yeah, the ocean came upon y'all down there in Norman this evening. It was cray in Norman today. Yeah, so glad everybody's safe in your household, because that was a lot. Hey, what's going on, sis? So yeah, that's how we get acquainted around here. Get on that share button and hit that comment section. Let us know where you are tuning in from. And then aside from that, I think, nope, Nope, not yet. We also know that, we might only have you for a few moments. So we invite you to stay locked in with us no matter how you like to scroll throughout these internet streets. We know there's plenty of options out here. So we want to be available wherever you like to hang out. So we are out here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud. Check us out, y'all. Check us out. If you want to follow us on YouTube, you can search at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, on SoundCloud at The Scoop Show, and on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. We are out here. Okay. So go ahead and lock in with us. We have options if you want to watch, and we have options if you want to listen. So be sure and lock in, hit the notifications, hit the thumbs and the bells and the whistles and all of the things so you don't miss when the scoop goes live. All right. I think that was it. How you doing, bro?
You did good. You missed one.
Don't pop it up. What I missed? The page. Oh, straight out of. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so as we're about to progress into this show, after I get my life together, our hot topics and often our main topics are generated based on your submissions, whether it be shares, tags, or via inbox. So we have created an outlet for you to directly get in there, get in the queue. Okay. If you find something as you scroll through these internet streets that you think the Scoop crew needs to discuss, go on, slide in our inboxes and share that link, share that conversation, share that meme, whatever it may be, little commentary. Hey, let's talk about this on the Scoop. Let us know that that's what you want to do. We'll go ahead and get that posted and we will get the conversation started. Pretty good chance your post will end up on the hot topics if we get a good strong conversation going. So we definitely invite you to drop the things that got you lost in the sauce. If you find yourself deep in the comment section somewhere, that's something we need to talk about. So go ahead and then drop that in our inboxes and we will be sure to get that posted straight out of the inbox. Okay.
Since you said it, you might as well go ahead and do that one too.
Oh, I said it since I said it. Okay.
Well, such a lovely job. Such a lovely job.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna hold you. I got you. All right. So if you guys have been watching for the past few weeks, we have we have listened and we have identified a need for you guys to get more of us. All right. So we have decided to open up a Patreon situation for you all to subscribe to the Scoop Show and have access to exclusive content, such as live shows that are not on our Tuesday shows. We're giving you more face-to-face time with us. We're going to dig deep into some subjects and conversations. So that is offered. We've got some swag on the horizon. We've got some forums and events coming up, and we have got all of the things our heart's desire is available to us with this particular situation we've got going here with Patreon. So we're super excited about it. We've got 3 opportunities for you to support the Scoop and gain access to all of these goodies. We've got our half scoop situation, which starts at $5, and that gives you access to Patreon only updates, a specific community that is for us, by us, and you get a Patreon only live stream. For full scoop is $10. You get the same as the half scoop plus 20% off branded merchandise and early access to event tickets. And if you are just out here team Scoop all day repping and you don't want to miss none of the goodies, you want to go ahead and get that double scoop. It's hot outside. Double scoop is what you deserve. Go ahead and sign up for $25 and you get all of the goodies. First half scoop, full scoop, and Scoop Nation shout outs during our weekly shows, double scoop only events, scoop of sex, private interviews, and much, much more. Okay. So yeah, you now is the time if you want to dig deeper into the Scoop and the conversations that we have. If this is your jam, go ahead and sign up on Patreon and get locked in with us and grow with us. Okay. All right. That was off my freestyle for the Patreon.
You did that well. Like that was really good.
Thank you. I'm gonna work on it. I'll be better. I'll be able to brush my shoulders off next Tuesday since we just done thrown that in my opening mix. I'm with it. I see
Okay,
what you
okay.
did
How you doing?
there. I'm all right. I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. We're
Hey.
in the process of moving, so it's boxes and everything everywhere. And I just want to say I'm old.
You at the point of paying people? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I'm at the point of paying people now. Like I want to be a good steward of my money, but I also realize I have to be a good steward of my back.
Of your back or your body. You
Yeah,
sure right. Mm-hmm.
I got
Yeah. House
I,
hopping is a young folks situation. I can't do that.
I got to pace myself to pack.
Mhm.
So I'm
Mhm.
like, that's enough for the day.
Listen, I still probably got some boxes in here, and we've been here a long time. Like I hate moving. I hate the whole process of
I
it.
do too. I don't like moving. I don't like shopping for houses.
Mm-mm.
I don't like, yeah.
Mm-mm.
So,
That's one of the
yeah.
reasons why I'm reluctant to do the whole starter house and then your forever home. Cause like I'm like the leap from starter to forever ain't finna be that long. Like I don't know. What is
Let's
the
just skip that. I said the other day, like, let's just skip that. Let's
I
just
want
go
my
straight
forever
to the.
because I ain't moving again. Like I want when I move up out of here, like my grandbaby's about to move into that house. Like that's the house. I don't want to do that. Like I just have no. I
I
don't.
thought about it, KG. Like I have been throwing away stuff, but yeah,
It's
still
never
too.
enough. It's never. You never can throw away enough stuff. You just find more stuff. You throw away things, and that just uncovers the other stuff. And but oh, this is damn near new stuff. I can't get rid of this stuff. Like now I'm wasteful because I ain't even used this stuff. It's been in this tucked away box bag, hidden by the other stuff. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So y'all just keep us lifted. It's
I
a keep
will.
us.
I will. That's a
Yeah, it's all
extended
good.
prayer. We're gonna reach out and touch and agree on that. Mm. Mm.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh wait, do I have? Okay, so yeah, here we go. All right, so this first, do we want to read this whole thing?
No, we can synopsize or whatever. We can summarize the situation.
Right. Cool.
Mm-mm.
So man threatens to cut son's college fund after learning he isn't biologically, his. Was the dad justified in his response, and how could this have been handled better by dad, mom, and the son?
Mhm.
So for context purposes, um, a man was married to a woman. They have had 3 kids. Come to find out, the middle child, which was a son, was not his.
Mhm.
So when he found out that it wasn't his, he left they got a divorce. And he didn't stop talking to the children, but he stopped visiting the children. But he would call the youngest and the oldest and not talk to the middle child
Mhm.
because this is the one that he found out wasn't his. When he had apparently got remarried, has another child, this middle child refuses to come and see the new child. So the father threatens at that point to cut off his college fund because he won't come and see him, and then says it's not like he's trying to cut him off, he just needs time. And the middle child, yeah, is of course hurt. But then the middle child's biological father is trying to connect with him, and the middle child doesn't want to connect with him because he's like, I need time.
Mhm. Mhm.
That synopsis, is that an accurate synopsis?
Yeah, I think the only thing that I think makes that stood out to me was that the baby, the new baby with the new wife, is only 6 days old. So within 6 days' time, the dad has set this expectation that the son is supposed to come with the welcoming big brother arms for this new child.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and the dad did still he called and had conversations with the oldest two, the other his biological children, and he didn't and there was no conversation had with the son to make him really understand the why, to the point he had lashed out during one of the calls with the other children and said, like, why are you not talking to me? Do you not love me? Like, what happened? He then, was frustrated and hurt and expressed to the dad, like, why are you not talking to me? And he kind of, he didn't lean in. And that created more friction between he and the child while he was going through his thing. So then after all of that, the child is now college aged, and he's got a new wife, a new child, and this is the expectation being set. He's saying he still needs additional time to get ready, and the son to get ready to be the dad that the son is expecting, but he is expecting the son to show up as the son.
Right.
So that was the only other thing that I think I would have added to that.
Okay. So what are your thoughts?
Story. Yeah, I was like, because I have thoughts on the situation. So like, y'all, I love sitting in this chair on Tuesdays. This is where I get to. But so this one is very layered. It is very layered. And so I can understand how the dad felt a type of way about learning this about his son. I get that. I get emotional. I get mad. I get confused, hurt, frustrated. I get needing some time. I get leaving the wife. I get all of those things. I also, can understand. I can understand how that rug being snatched like that, especially for your middle child. You know what I mean? There's a lot of levels to this that matter. For how a person is going to process this. With all of that being said, I could not rock with the double Dutch way that this man was expecting this child to understand and behave while he too is dealing with all of this. He now doesn't really feel connected to much of anything. He's got anger towards his mother. That's still his mama, but he's got anger there because how could you put me in this spot? And then like, I wasn't protected here. He's got probably issues with his brothers and sisters that have now been getting the fathering that they needed. And it's not their fault, but at the same time, what's he supposed to feel about this? You got this new daddy that I didn't know you existed until this trauma happened to me. And now you're showing up with these daddy vibes, and I don't have that for you because this dude's my dad, but this dude don't want to be my daddy. So like, there's a lot that both of these male humans are experiencing, one of which with access to more resources and experience, being older, not necessarily initiative or want or will to do or whatever, but access to more resources and the privilege of more experience by age. So yeah, you know what I mean? So he gets more room for me. I would have rathered him back all the way away and say, this is just too much for me, and allow that to hurt and then heal, than to create this additional trauma between the two of them, and then the additional people in this family, because you haven't done whatever it is that you need to do to get this back right. No one's asking you to have a relationship with the mom. This is a college age kid now. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to create something special for you and just this boy. Y'all can heal together. That's what I'm thinking. Like, where was I read the comments on the post from the men, and then there was a comment from another woman she was a classmate who had a very intimate experience with this, from brother and a nephew. Like, I can understand. Yeah, I empathize with those situations. However, I still feel how I feel about the back and forth of it. As the adults in the situation, I grant you your emotions and all of that. However, if you're going to then still attempt to be in the child's life as a protector, as an adult, as someone who they are to care with and for, and have that expectation, you do have a different responsibility to get your shit together. on their behalf to help them through that situation, or go do that. You know what I mean? Like we don't get to have it both ways in the midst of that kind of hurt. You know what I mean? Like that is life changing. He don't know who he is in a lot of ways right now.
Yeah.
But I also, let me say this one more thing before I'm done. I also comment on this from a motherhood space.
Yeah.
I'm not a father. I have the capacity to mother many that did not walk out of my body. That is how I'm wired. So the capacity for cutting off love for, especially for children, in these types of situations is just it doesn't connect for me. I can, and the selfishness of it. Either you're gonna be there or you're not. I think that is the commitment that we have to make if we are caring for children. You know, I can understand if it's just too much, but yeah.
I get that. I think that for me, in theory, I want to say, like, and first, I agree with you in theory. That's what should happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I also can, like, as I read it, can feel how much that would hurt. And again, because this is a young man who is going to college, all of the experiences that you've gone through with this, with this young man, and now to realize, like, you're not his biological father. Like, so I think it's just this level of, and yes, this absolutely should have been directed at the mother.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
at the same time, I also, you know, I'm also very understanding of how difficult that is of trying to negotiate that in the middle of hurt. So I would, it would have been really nice for him to, if he couldn't communicate that to the middle child, to at least communicate that to one of the two he's talking to, and like, listen, just please tell your brother I'm trying to work through this, because whatever.
I think he probably did. I think he probably did. I think it was when he tried to pull that "I'm pulling the money card if you don't come show up for me" thing.
I ain't got to that part yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, so now when we get to that part, I think that's where, again, I think to use that as a reason, like to say, I'm going to do this for not coming to see your 6-day-old child, I think that's too much. It's way, way, way too much. But again, I also am concerned or wondering if this really is just a horrible response to this, to what's happened, which again is not justified.
His saying
his saying, "Come see Mama, pull your college fund," is still a horrible response from the fact that he's still butthurt about about the whole situation in general. Which again, that's not about the child. Right. That's about the mama. Right. And so now you got to redirect that to say, and again, I know that's hard because I just had a conversation the other day where I told you, where I'm having a conversation and I'm like, I realize this ain't got nothing to do with the person I'm talking to. This has got something to do with something totally different. In the moment your emotions are wrapped up in it, you don't necessarily know what's going on. So I think he was wrong. He was absolutely wrong. But I don't want to discount like the depth of hurt that I'm sure he had to do that. So, but it's still wrong. Wrong is wrong. I think I think of all the things that I was very intrigued by in the comments was how no one really talked about the mother. I'm like, that surprised me. Like, we're not gonna talk about. She waited to.
I think it was because it layered so much. Like, because he layered that, it was so hard to either you got caught up in the fact that you could identify with this from like a personal level, or it was what? Like, it was the extremity of it escalated to, why are you taking this out on him to this degree? And then this is what you say. So it was that got overshadowed by the real person who all this energy should have been directed at, was totally discounted because he out here doing what he
He
do.
left. He
Yeah.
went where he left real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me how we were so reluctant to say this was wrong. This reaction was wrong. I think that we can often, in a lot of situations, we can do things knowing good and well this isn't the best decision. This isn't the most thoughtful, the most mature. This isn't the most whatever positive good thing, we could attach to a decision, and we're going to do that thing because it's what we do at that time. After it's all said and done, we can look at it and say, yeah, that was wrong. But no matter whenever you're ready to say it or not, you know that the thing is wrong. It's still wrong, regardless of what rationale was attached to it. You know what I mean? Like, wrong is wrong. So it was very interesting to me how it was, because it hurt real, real bad, it was okay for us to absolve wrong. It was, I ain't gonna say that. I can't call that. That's that man. Like, yeah, but when you're discussing the actions taken, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's wrong. Like
this, totally wrong.
Yeah. So
I think it's okay to call something wrong, but also understand, like I said, why the person did.
Yes.
But, like, okay, I can give you empathy that this was very much so traumatic. However, the greater effect on, in this instance, on these kids, is problematic.
Exactly.
So I can say we should be able to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Deep situation though. Tough situation.
Yeah. So this one was sent to me straight out the inbox. It says, ladies, be careful about buying a house because it'll be 2 times harder to get a man. No real man is gonna move in with you. He will feel like you will control him, which is kind of true.
I debated putting that on there or not.
No, agree or disagree. Is this something women should worry about?
Yeah. They shouldn't have to, but they do. I'm gonna just say it. They really shouldn't have to. That I would see that as being an asset in all aspects of the word asset. But no. Comments proved me wrong. Multiple comment sections about this conversation have proved me wrong as hell.
This is one of them situations where I know everybody was expecting me to be like, no, this is like, it should be okay. I just move in, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Life and counseling and everything else I know has taught me that as a man, you should not move in with a woman into her house. I get in theory that it should be fine. I get, all of that. But like I said on the post, for me, and I'm not suggesting I'm right. I'm completely right. But it's gonna take is one time for you to tell me I can't do what I'm supposed to do, what I want to do, because this is my house and I'm the one that bought this house. And I'm like, you know what? It is yours.
Just yours.
I know a part of that is ego. And I know, and even like everybody's like, but you got she's gonna do that no matter what. But it's different when her name is on the deeds and yours isn't, and her name is on the mortgage and yours isn't, as opposed to when she's saying that and your name is on the mortgage and you pay. Like, you can say what you want at that point. We know at the end of the day,
it's both ours.
It's both our house. But you're not. But when it's really yours, I just can't do it. So I'm just being honest. I understand. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, and I'll be honest, I tell people all the time, y'all should just sell it and buy a house together,
or rent it.
Or rent it. Because again, a lot of times, and I'm not being funny. A lot of times, that is the default when you can't agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's my house, so I do what I want. I don't care if you're the man. I don't care. It's my house. I'm gonna do what I want. You just gonna have to be all right with it. And it becomes as if she is talking it like she talking to a child, and you like, I'm not no blankety blank 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 kid. You're not about to be blankety blank 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 talking to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
Part ego, part part this for but who was it, somebody in the post the other day that say you got to pay the cost to be the boss.
As a woman, like I led this saying, like this should be an asset, but as a woman, I would want to either buy a house or move in with the man. I wouldn't want to move a man into my home that I purchased. My proposal would not be to move him in. It would be, I will rent this home and then we will buy our home together. Huh? Yeah, that would be the compromise. But I'm not just up and getting rid of my whole house that I work for. Like that's even the selling of it. Because now I wouldn't want to do that. That I will rent this home. That's more homes for us to have. Like we'll rent it.
That's fine. We can do that and all we want. I just can't be in a position you telling me
property is way too hard to come by right now to be petty about it. Boy, you better forget it's over and get this rent. Don't you worry about it, baby. We're gonna cover this house and I'll make sure that one's covered, but we ain't getting rid of no deeds. Now that's what we not finna do is get rid of no deeds.
KG said, what if it's her family house? Are you gonna sell it? No, I'm gonna rent it. I'll rent it. I'm fine with that.
That's building generational wealth right there.
There you go. Income property. But to put but it's interesting again. So, I'm of course I'm not a woman. So when I get something like this, my natural I'm like, this is not a thing.
Oh, it's a
thing.
But
I started thinking through.
It's a thing.
I started thinking through some of my single lady friends who have like houses and nice houses and good jobs, like good people, nice house, nice car, and they struggle. They struggle maintaining relationships for that very reason. So I was like, wow, and have told me stories about men who like everything is cool until they see their house, and then they're like, oh no, I can't do that with you.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah. And if you can't find where you fit in, and it's harder for women who aren't necessarily looking for that piece of that from a relationship. I don't need you to necessarily talk, because there are some women who are looking for that. I need you to match and then exceed what I got going on. But there are some women who have come to the understanding that this is just kind of what it is going to be as far as this economy and my status, where I'm at. I have gotten to a level where it's going to be hard to catch up right now. And I'm good with that. This is where I don't need you to come in here paying all these bills and doing all this extra stuff. I got that. I just need you to be here. You know what I mean? And do these things right here and be good with that. That is hard for some men to wrap their brains around. Even when the woman can love they dirty draws and be happy to have someone come in the house on Tuesdays and Thursdays and sometimes on Saturday evenings to clean them draws. Because she's at a point where she don't do no laundry. You know what I mean? She isn't welcoming you into that comfort and luxury and just want to be. And that is hard for some men to take in, because and I get it. But at the same time, I don't. At the same time, I don't, because if she's fine with it, she ain't tripping. She ain't the one that's gonna be trying to sun you and do all that other stuff. I think those are some of those women who say, yeah, this is stupid and it's a struggle because I'm not even out here for all that. You know what I mean? But
I think that. So I think the problem is, for me, the first thing, because I was in a situation like this, and I remember when after it was over, having to think. My issue, the issue really was not her. The issue, I couldn't even really tell it when she was and if she wasn't doing that. I was too busy trying to deal with my own bruised ego. Like
Mhm.
that was the biggest problem. So now, in retrospect, like if I could have got over that, would I have been able, like, you know what I mean? Like, would have, I probably wouldn't have felt like that because, with the exception of maybe once, was that not even so much that car that like that car I'd ever used, but it just didn't let me fully be myself in the situation because I was like always second guessing myself. So it was like, whew,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, whew,
Yeah.
okay. So which which was called out like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I don't need that. I'm good. And I'm like, everything she's saying, I just couldn't like it just was hard to do because every time my ego is like, son, you don't belong here.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You don't belong here. And I'm like, but I do. I'm like, this ain't no big deal. Like, I know
Mhm.
ain't nothing I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? I done been all this. I done all this. I'm good.
Yeah.
My,
So
my
can you imagine what that feels like from her perspective? Like
absolutely.
when she wants you, like like
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
like, and but then those will be the men, those not you specifically, but then
yeah,
there are men who will exit a relationship, and the reason is because of what you just shared. That is the catalyst of why it didn't work. But then it'll be, oh, she had a lot of stuff, and she should like that will be projected. The feeling that he got from that being there is now projected as what she did. So it'll be, yeah, I don't want a woman to have a lot of things because then they be trying, because that's kind of how it comes off. Like some of these stories that we hear, be like, what?
yeah.
Like, what are you even saying for a woman? Because it's like the women who are going to talk crazy to you for not having nothing, not going to put you in all of these scenarios where you get to have these crazy situations. Like there is no tag along and then just you know what I mean? The woman who you got to have all of the things in line to roll with her is not going to give you an opportunity to not have all of your things in line and be out rolling with her. So when we
Right.
get in these situations where we got all of these sob stories and situations about how these women do you so wrong because they got all this money and stuff, I'm thinking, did she just magically get money overnight and then she was like, never mind, bad? Like,
But right, because I think the interesting
where's your
part was
switch?
again, like the interesting part was it in most of the what I had to come to the conclusion was to your point was most of the time this is actually the woman who you want because she's going to see the places that she's already been, like the room she's been in that you might not have been privy to. Like, hey, in this room, this is what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be, confident enough to recognize that she's trying to put me on game. Like, this ain't about belittling me. This is about putting me on game. And I just need to just go ahead and do what I got to do. Like you said, she's trying to help me because she sees something that I'm not seeing or that I'm not doing, or again, access to a room that I don't have access to yet.
Yep.
So I gotta listen.
Yep.
And so now I'm like, shoot, that's the kind of woman you want. You just gotta again walk into it confident enough in yourself to recognize like your who you are is not based upon your money. But if you are have enough character and you have enough and the right work ethic, then the money will help you become whatever it is you want to be.
That's it.
So, but it took me having that experience to realize like, oh, ooh,
Might be a little me.
mm-mm.
Might be a little me.
It was like it was definitely.
Mhm. Oh, you the man of the house in that case? He said she can get out. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh god. Hey Alyssa, how you doing?
Mhm. I guess.
Yeah. What did mama say earlier? She said my husband moved into my house and then we bought a home together. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. You said if
Okay.
you at the Tyler Perry house and I'm in a 2 bedroom, I'm moving. I mean, it makes sense. We ain't renting out Tyler Perry house. That at that point, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
It is your house.
Right. You know what, baby? You're right.
You got Tyler Perry house. It is your house. I mean, Tyler Perry got a whole like helicopter pad and air runway in the backyard. So I better. I mean,
You're not about to
I'm
play
gonna
in my
be
face
humble.
about my palace. If I'm pulling Tyler Perry acreage, you is not about to play in my face about my palace. This gas.
Listen, you got Tyler Perry house. I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you. You know what? This is your house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm,
Listen, them gates go open. It's gonna say SHAQUILLA on the gates. Like that is what how it's gonna open. That bad boy gonna go. Oh.
you got a house like that?
You enter, okay? Shit. That'll be some Tyler Perry footage. Tyler Perry square footage.
You got that? You got that house? Listen. I stay in the outhouse, in the Stedman house of that house. That thing is ridiculously big. Let's come on in the house and take it over. I know that's right. But you paying? Now we'll still listen. That's one thing that they all have said. All the ladies who I've talked, they're like, yeah, now you ain't gotta pay all the bills, but you got to pay something. You can't just live for free. So, and I don't think they should. So, all right, let's keep it moving. Oh yeah, Lord help us.
Oh Lord.
See.
How did her face still end up on here? I thought I cropped that off where it wasn't this one. Did I send the wrong one? I must have. There's another one without the face. That was a long one. My bad. No, you probably didn't get it. It's fine. Go on. We missed the words on this one because it cuts off because it was wider than it was supposed to.
Now I gotta find it because I
can't read
that.
I'm looking for it.
All right, I got it. It says, so my husband just came back from work by 7 o'clock, had his bath. I served him his food. He rejected it and told me that he wanted to eat fish pepper soup by that time, and I also just came back from work. I told him that it was not possible that he should wait till tomorrow. Fish pepper soup is something I have to plan, and it takes time. He got upset and called me lazy in my presence. He picked up his phone and called a girl. He put the phone on speaker and he told the girl he wanted fish pepper soup. The girl responded and told him to come on over.
Yeah, this is the wrong slide, bro. I just realized the top doesn't match the bottom. There's another one in the chat that has the right questions, but it's good. The follow-up questions to the story that was just told is, what is your advice? And was her husband right for leaving for the good side, sis, with the fish soup?
Fish pepper. First of all,
fish pepper.
Has anybody ever had fish pepper soup? Because I've never had it.
I think that's a very African cultured dish.
Like fish pepper soup?
Yeah. This is definitely not giving US of A.
Somebody said that it was Nigerian.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
this was okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
My advice is change your locks. Get a test. Get yourself tested, but change your locks. It's time to go. It's time to go. No, you're not finna call her and have this conversation in front of me and expect to come back and lay your head at this house. I hope you should have packed you a bag. At the end of this here driveway will be your things, sir. No. It's just crazy. It was just crazy. Like, I don't have any spin or positivity for this sequence of events. There's no rationale that I could come up with for this. You're just not about to do me like that. Like, you're just not about to put me out here like that. You're just not gonna do that.
Listen, I think I am as brave and courageous, and at times stupid, as most men. I think this is a level of stupidity I'm not doing. I'm not calling another woman, putting it on speaker, and then actually leaving to go to another woman's house. I'm telling you, I wouldn't even do that if it was my mother.
Yeah, what were you
I'm
doing?
not calling my mama and doing that, let alone
Mm-mm.
Father God.
No, I just got off work.
I can
Oh.
just foresee.
Mm-mm.
I can just see worst case. Look, best case scenario. I can see myself not sleeping for a month because I know if I close my eyes, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just can't. That's just not.
No, no,
I see no wisdom in that.
there was no wisdom in that. There was nothing but recklessness and violence in that decision. He chose both recklessness and violence in choosing those actions. So I would meet him with reckless violence upon his arrival.
You say that's so nice, though. You say that's so nice.
Because I'm very committed in what I would do. Like I'm steadfast in that decision. You show back up here, you are going to be met with reckless violence. Reckless abandoned violence. Like just that wild and free kind of violence. That in my happy place, my feet dug down into the soil kind of violence is what you're gonna be met with when you show back up at this address, sir. Don't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Alyssa said he's all the way wrong. He just made up that fight to go see that shit. I've heard there was a couple of people in the comments who said that same thing. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the thing. That's the thing.
You talking about the Lorena comment? That's what I'm laughing at. And I'm laughing because my mama, when the Lorena Bobbitt situation happened, this was a long term, a long standing Lorena Bobbitt was the name that was called on a consistent basis in my house.
Oh no.
So to see her type that out like that, I just flash back to my mama being crazy as hell as a child. I love her to death, but that one right there got me. That was pretty good.
We know.
Whew, right. Like, girl, what? This cannot be real. This cannot be real. And you allowed him to complete the call? Like it would have been all kind of
And my thing is, and you're writing a letter to somebody else asking, like, what you
yeah.
mean? Why are
Yeah.
you?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's not a whole lot of situations that I like see myself flashing instantly to rage. This is one of them. And also one of them situations where I know I'd be wrong, but I wouldn't care. Like you could call me wrong after, but I'm going in. Like violence is not my first level, like at all. There's quite a few levels that happen prior to violence, but I'm skipping all them bad boys. If this is
Not
what
this
goes
time.
down. Yeah. Ain't no levels. It's a lateral field right here. We going from here to here. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. About the head and neck for you, sir. It's going down. I'm messing up that phone. She gonna feel it over there that she don't want you to come over there. Like, but I'm sending you to her. You on the way, but she ain't gonna want you to show up when you get there.
I'm like, you know what? Never mind.
What you come here for? Why you come here? You know she crazy. Why you come here? Did she follow you? No, I ain't following him. He yours now. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm in the bathtub. That's what I'm doing. I'm relaxing now.
Hey, hey.
This evoked rage in me. Wow.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So I was like, I have nothing positive for this scenario. I ain't got no spin. I have fists for this situation. Knives, fists, weapons. Weaponry is what I see. I hear moan up in my Warren G and Nate Dogg voice. Like I have all of these. Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good thing. I just no. Next topic. Like I'm gonna be banned for a third party live. I'm gonna be in jail in the morning.
Oh shit! Go get here tomorrow and find your stuff. locked up.
That'll be my theme music. Show up with the fish soup story, fish pepper soup story. Locked up. Yes, Jamie, moan up like with the echo and everything. Theme music. It's a clear black night. Clear black night. Like go on and get the bass, Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one.
That's it.
I think, like I said, you
Hmm.
gotta be a brave. You gotta be a brave person. That's it.
That ain't bravery. Babies and fools. That's foolery. That's
Yeah.
foolishness. It's a foolish fire.
You got to be a brave person. Yeah. What am I looking for? Okay. I skipped one. That's what it was. Okay. Here we go.
Now that song is in my head. Regulate.
Tupac in the background, really?
Clear black night.
All right. All right. So this is what I did. So I was listening to a Facebook Clubhouse. It was on Greg Davis, When the Right One Comes, and they were talking about. I forgot what they were talking about. Submission and headship and all that kind of stuff. And so I said, listening to this Clubhouse discussion, it finally hit me why submission is hard. Now, there are many layers to how it became hard, but the root issue comes down to one word: trust. Submission requires a level of trust that most of us are unwilling to give another person. And if we are honest, we even struggle trusting God. The trust is easy when we agree with what the person is doing, but when we disagree, we pick up our trust, put it in our pocketbooks, and go back home just like a kid with his ball. Trust is not trust if I cannot trust you to respond correctly after an incorrect decision. So the question, do you agree that our issue is trust more than submission? Does our agreement depend on our level of trust?
Does our agreement deepen our level?
Sorry, I'm tired. I'm sorry.
You all right? Yeah, you're all right. This was a good one, bro. This one was good. And I would say, yes, I think trust is a much bigger part of our debate about submission than the act of actual submission. I think when in a trusting relationship, a healthy, safe, trusting relationship, submission happens naturally. It's not even a conversation. But if there are either programmed ideals or trauma attached to the union as it relates to control and submission and trust being broken and all of that, then that's where we get into these different layers. And trust is often always the why of why it's not happening. If I can trust you to hear me, to feel me, to move with me in mind, with my best interests in mind, I can trust even those decisions I might not be fully bought in on, because I know that you got me. And if it doesn't work, you still got me. So there is a trust, there's a safety, there's a covering, there's a protection that comes with having those types of easily submissive relationships where it appears as though they just work. It just there's a different level of trust there. And I believe that the person who is primarily submitting can also know that if it does not all work out the way we originally planned, that person is not going to act like it didn't. They're going to then be accountable for whatever hurt, whatever frustration, whatever inconvenience, whatever difference from what was expected taking place, they show up and are also accountable for that. They don't just show up for the high fives and the congratulations. It is also, I didn't do that as well as I said I would, or I could have, or whatever, and I will do better. That is how you build that trust, that blind. There's no blind, but that he got it. I don't get it, but he got it. I don't get it, but he got it comes with a very, very different level of trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One that I think should be earned.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I want to say that because I think I don't want, like, I think that we've done this. I always say that respect should be given, trust should be earned.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that the level of trust that it takes to get to a place, like you said, where even if something goes bad, he's got it, or I trust that I know that as he is making his decision or she is making her decisions, that she's thinking about me, us, and not just him, her. There's no selfishness involved in that. And that's something that through time, that's something that through experience, even at times discernment that you have to have. But I think that is what we really have to recognize, that we're struggling. We're not struggling, like this argument again about submission is not really about submission. It's saying it's about trust. Because even in, as I thought through it too, I thought like the root of submission, or the etymology of the word, we talk about it's a military term, but even in that situation, that is, you are willfully doing this because you trust that the people who are in higher rank than you have more information, aren't going to put you in a bad situation, all those kind of things. So there is a trust, a perceived trust that is given to them because of that. And so you're willing to submit. So I think we're asking, sometimes I feel like we're asking for something we haven't earned. Sometimes we are earning it, but some people aren't willing to give it because of past situations. And I think sometimes there are people who are holding it hostage for the sake of not having to fully commit and do the things that's necessary in order to have that deep connection that comes with that level of trust in a relationship.
Yeah. And again, this is the word of, I feel like the word of the month. Consistency is so important in this. You can't make one or two great decisions and think, okay, I'm supposed to just, all the decisions are yours to make from now going forward. Like that is the part of the earning of it. You know what I mean? And then it does happen over time, and there's got to be an intentionality behind it. And the goal is not just for submission. There's a deeper level of relationship that happens when trust is being built, just for the sake of creating a beautiful, safe space within the relationship, not just of, I want you to do what I say, because that's not submission. You know what I mean? That's not the goal. So
it's not. Yeah, it's really about unity. Like at the end of it's about us being able to figure out how we function well together.
Yeah.
And so in whatever scenario, instance, order, whatever structure that is present, you have to have, there's a level that a way that you have to learn how to function within this, this relationship, organization, friendship, that's only going to come and happen by trust. The other thing I wanted to say is I think that when you don't have the experience, the one thing that we can look to is the character of the person. So I think character has to, and the person's historical character and integrity have to play a part in it. But as I saw Alyssa just made this comment that requires patience, and that requires time, that requires getting to know them, know this person, this relationship, having a relationship that's that develops instead of we instead of rushing to say that this is where we are. No, let's take our time. Let's experience what needs to be experienced and what we can experience to really determine where where we are and how I feel and how you'll respond and how I feel about the way you respond and is the way this I use using it as in a business structure, the way this company is run, is this the way that I choose to be a part of?
Yep. And I know it's 9:00. We got to move on, but I also wanted to. The reason for that second question was, does our agreement deepen our level of trust? Because often that is the factor that is the decision of, nope, I'm not going to go with that because I don't agree with that. I want to be able to have my say. I've seen.
Yeah.
This is something that people don't always admit, that if they will agree with the situation, we're going to do this thing, they do the thing, it doesn't work out the way that it was supposed to work out, then it is now that was your decision. And I was submitting now all of the accountability is on the person that the submission was supposed to be to. Now they're the lead all of a sudden again. But we decided this was what we were going to do. When you were in agreement, it was a we decision. Now that thing didn't work out the way that it was supposed to, it was a me decision that you were just riding with, hoping and praying that everything was going to work out because I'm the old fearless leader. I wanted us to talk. I want us to think about that. Even if we don't go deep tonight, think about that, how we will shift our agreement with our expectation and then our accountability when said thing doesn't work out. Because if it would have been beautiful, look at what we did. Teamwork. Yes, baby, we work so good together. Yeah, that's my best friend. And all of that we goes. But when it don't work, now you want an apology from someone because now you're inconvenienced or you got a setback and we got to do something different now. Now it's, make it right. Make it right. What are you gonna do? It's like, no, we finna go back to this table and figure out what our next steps are. And I think that is, our trust is all in when we can see the end. But then when the end doesn't end up being what we thought it would be, now it's a question of, well, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So I
what I wanted in the first place, and so now I got
now we got all the caveats to why we wasn't supposed to do the thing. So I think we should also, while discussing the trust and then also adding that layer of agreement to it, we have to really decide which is we ain't like like what is it? Because that's a collective at that point.
Yeah, let's answer some of these questions and then we'll go to our comments. Let me see. Candace says, I feel like lots of people base how far they go with trust based on some past trauma that may have not been addressed during courtship and dating processes. Therapeutic and intervention, work on healing, etc. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that is exactly what happens. And so let me say this too, Candace. I'm actually okay with that. Like, I think that's normal. I think that's normal and okay to be able to go so far based upon your situation. Now, I don't think that it's fair that the other person should pay for it, meaning like I shouldn't have to do extra because the previous dude did whatever. You know what I mean? But to have an awareness of it, I think is normal. I think it's normal to be able to say, listen, these are the things that right now are uncomfortable for me due to past experiences. So I need to let you know so that you're aware of it. Like, I'm working through it, I'm working on it, but I need you to know that if I call you and you don't answer and don't respond to me for 8 hours, that triggers me because blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
that was one of mine, by the way. I didn't do well with that. Like, respond to me, hurry up. So so or if I'm at, I know one that I'm terrible at is when somebody asks me 4 or 5 questions, I might answer one, and I'm like, I get in trouble with that one. So I mean, just these different, like, but tell me, hey, when you do that, that agitates me because this is why I don't feel heard. I don't feel, oh, okay, and now I know. And so I think at that point, my knowing as your partner gives me the opportunity to adjust, but it also gives me the opportunity to provide more grace when if you respond a certain way, and I'm like, hey, I was just busy, I was in a meeting.
Right.
It's all,
because that was going to be my feedback to that. Like, once I share that with you, even like if I don't choose to go into details or give you all of the the whys of my thing, don't weaponize that when that situation presents itself. I'm
right.
giving this to you to hold safe so that I could give you the other parts. So like when this happens, because I know it's crazy, I see my crazy, which is why I'm telling you when I'm not being crazy, so we can have a non-crazy related conversation about my crazy. So when it shows up, you can be like, okay, she said
That's
this was what
it
crazy
is.
looked like.
Right. She said
Okay.
that's okay.
So
Yep.
this is the crazy. We just got it. Okay, baby. So
Yep.
I had a meeting, ran a little longer.
Right.
Sorry
That's
about
it.
that. I get it, but
I'll
we
text you
good.
next time. I'll let you know
Yes,
I'm running
yes.
late.
I'll be there at 6, like I said. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing changed. I'm on my way. Like, and give me that. Give her that. That is building trust in your soft spots. Like, you don't get all that. You have not earned that. You don't deserve those soft spots of a person without being tested. Those are the tests that are acceptable. I'm giving you me. I'm giving you the full access to do what you do in this. I gave you the cheat codes. Now you gonna play them, or you gonna go off the dome? You know what I mean? Like when I'm giving you the cheat codes and you still choose to go all willy nilly, then I mean, what you can't be mad at me for. I'm like, oh well, that was too much for that. It takes a little longer for you to get one an opportunity to see that side again, and then two for that next level to be unlocked. So yeah. Because now don't make me think I did too much by giving you too much, because it's gonna be a minute before you get a little dab again. You won't get a little dabble for a minute once I feel like I did too. Oh, okay.
That's real.
My bad.
But even to that though, I think that's where, and this is answering a little bit of Alyssa's other comment. I think that's where she says, if we are forever, why do we have to get to the end of the journey on day one? I agree with that. But I think also we have to also get to a point where we can have those conversations and not hide that for, hide, like, okay, I'm not going there again. Like, don't shove it under the rug. But okay, we talked about it. He or she got it. So she says she got it. I gotta try again. Like when this
not immediately though. I'm
and
just gonna tell you, it won't be.
I went down.
Oh, okay.
I can't lock you out. I can't lock this person out of that. Now I recognize that it might take me a second to feel safe to do that. But at the same time, I know it is not beneficial to start locking rooms, locking my person out of rooms of my life, because then that creates issues. So let me ease back on into this. Let me finish, getting myself together, and then when the opportunity comes up, let's try that again.
Yep.
So I think we can do that.
For your soft spots and the tough stuff, sometimes apologies aren't all that's necessary to get a person to give you that another time. So I can accept your apology and believe that it's genuine and is real, but that does not mean that I'm going to give you that again so fast because this is my softest stuff. You know, you mess up my grocery list a couple times, fine. You forget my dry clean, okay, whatever. Pick up the wrong you could honey, go for it. You know what I mean? I will send you as many times as you'll go. I'll let you go. But for my soft spots, the stuff that I've kept safe, you got to give me a minute. And I think that folks have to be accepting of the fact that this ain't just no regular thing. These parts are the parts that I keep for my people, you know, those folks that I call when I can't form words type stuff. And if I'm letting you into that space and you don't do it right, not saying you won't have access again, but no, it's gonna be a minute. Yeah.
I think and that's fine. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. My balances to that is gonna be it's fair right to wait a while. It's not to use it to punish them.
No, nope.
So
didn't say that.
Yeah. I know you didn't.
I know. We have to say
everybody. Because I think that sometimes we got to ask ourselves, like, am I doing too? Okay, like, have they earned this opportunity, or am I just now again back to Candace's the first thing? You know, I'm just not in a position to do that, and so I am making them pay. And I've done that to people, so I know
it's what we do when we hurt. It's I don't know. Not only did I give it to you, then you messed it up. Oh, like it wasn't a gift at that point. It took the beauty from the moment of me wanting you to have this, because that's I don't know if people always understand the intimacy that is happening when a person decides that you are now able to hold that part of them. So there is a different, sometimes non-mature response that comes to bearing a part of you that no one gets to have access to, and then is mishandled. So we don't always initially go for the right thing or the restorative thing, or even the right words to say. You're gonna get another opportunity to do this again, because like, how could you? Why wasn't this so as important to you as it is to me? Like, I told you this was my thing. Like, you know what I mean? So we will often maximize the damage done because of the weight that very, very soft thing carries for us. And I think we all do it, and we got to give each other grace for that too. We got to give each other grace for that too. Yeah.
Good. That's good. Submission comes at the agreement of the facilitated or earned trust, with consistently proving that one is safe to be themselves and accepted as they are. Yep. Needs to be a cyclical discussion, and equity and accountability. I agree. Listen says, I need you to know that I need patience while I'm learning how to be the best partner for you. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Amen. But those things need to be discussed about the past trauma together that trigger those things, so the other knowingly can facilitate. Yep, absolutely, safely. Isaac stupid. Cheat codes. Okay, this is grace needs to be given for those things to be exposed as well as corrected. That's yep. Don't weaponize those idiosyncrasies. Absolutely. All right. Good section. Yeah. Yep. Restores.
Woo. Yep. Yes, ma'am.
That's good.
Yeah, it does.
That's good. That's good.
She used the word ecstasy. That's one of my words. Come on, vocabulary. It's a sexy word. So on point for the ass. Y'all can tell I'm getting sleepy, right? It's like it's setting in.
Go ahead. All right. That was a second. Good hot topics tonight. All right. Let's go ahead and give them the elegance by design. And yeah. Where am I? I done moved my screen over.
Wash day has never been so simple, sis. Let's be honest. Rarely is spending a day bent over the sink and stuck under the dryer considered ideal for self-care. We got things to do, okay? So get back to it and trade those 5011 products for 3 of our best-selling staples for your basic hair care needs. Cleanse and condition your curls with our super rich, deliciously citrus-scented Quench shampoo and conditioner, and lock in that bounce and shine with our Do Me Daily moisturizing cream that gives your coils the proper stage to show out no matter how you decide to style. Grab yours today at elegancebydesign.com. .com.
Make sure, of course, like she said, go to elegancebydesign.com and get your products. Anything else?
Child, I'm just trying to make it right now. Child.
All right, so y'all, if you all have not seen, I have or am launching my Money and Relationships Coaching Academy. It is online right now. It's just the Money Academy. Money U is up and going. I am looking for 25 people to be my test group for this. And so if you choose to be a part of my test group, then you will get the full academy at a discounted rate. You'll also have to provide me some feedback along the way. So if you're interested, then inbox me or DM me on Instagram, and we can talk about what I'm looking for. But it's 30 classes. You can go at your own pace. You don't even have to take all of them if you don't want. But it's classes to help you eliminate debt, how to create wealth, how to have the mindset for money, budgeting, credit repair, all of that stuff. So again, just go and don't you need an even number for it? No, this is just money coaching right now. And I don't need one relationship coaching. I can relationship coach singles too. But no, so this is again just for money classes. So DM me or inbox me and we could go from there. All right.
All right.
Is this the other one you were looking for earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
You see the
the
words match now? Because that was for your submission one. It swapped it up. That was weird. I don't know why I didn't catch it before I sent it. But anywho, we're going to get it right. I'm going to have a show where all of the ads and things come together. So we're good. Okay. So this conversation came from my girl, Shaquita. She posted this. What was it? Last week we had this chat.
Mm-hmm.
Last week? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she posted this on her page last week and I grabbed it immediately and put it straight in the inbox for me and Wynn to talk about because it hit quite a few different places. It immediately stood out to me being someone who was married young. It immediately stood out to me from someone who, while not being raised in the church, being very, very religious adjacent. As far as the school I went to, the environment I was around, all of that, you could not escape the culture and the expectation of, as far as what was expected as far as relationships. And then moving into adulthood and aligning with the whole what happens in your house stays in your house, and the whole, you got to keep your stuff to your, you put on the good face. Social media became a thing, and then we put our highlight reels out there. No one really gets to be it's our highlight reels feigning authenticity. So it actually removes the space for true authenticity to take place. That's then becomes oversharing. So like there's been lots of different discussions and then evolutions of what transparency, communication, vulnerability the expectation of assistance looks like in the realm of relationships, specifically for Black folks. Okay. So the meme, if you want to make it big on the screen, is discussing covering. Okay. And so I believe the caption that was on the original post was y'all better stop covering for these men or something like that. So the conversation, this is a thread, conversation or comment thread says, I asked what she would have done differently, and she said she would have stopped hoping for him to change and left while she had the chance. The signs were there, and her ignoring them and continuing to take care of everything and him was enabling. And then this woman says, don't cover up for him. Present him as he is. We cover up the shortcomings of the men in our lives. And when they turn on us, no one believes it because we've been covering up for them. I'm grateful for her honesty and openness. So our follow-up questions were, should women cover for their men? And how has what we were taught as children affected how we advocate for ourselves and receive counsel in our relationships? Phew. Heavy conversation, and for some of the reasons that I mentioned before, but also this type of thing affects so much of our relationships. The having the space to speak about, having safe people to speak to, and having the expectation of assistance for this specific type of need has become really, really hard to get for us. And so when it was said like this, and then the ending of that, where the woman said, I was really grateful for her openness and her honesty. That's the part that I think was what I think we miss so much when we have this debate about what people should know, what they shouldn't know, what we should say, what we shouldn't say. We don't always think about the full circle of what could happen. We all would love for every relationship to stay forever. We would love for every union to be a healthy one, to be a happy one, to be one rooted in love and intentional in making sure that it stays rooted in love. That is not always the case. And I don't know if we do a really good job as a community of giving people the space to say, not so much. We wanted that, but not so much. And letting that be that, and really listening to when someone is saying, yeah, but no. No. You know what I mean? Not, you know what I mean? And then when and before it gets to the domestic violence situation, or or not even always domestic violence, but when this person has serious trauma behind it, or they're publicly embarrassed and it's gone to a point where everybody knows, and they're like, well, what happened? And be like, I've been trying to, oh, this is what it took, so we escalate the trauma before we're willing to hear it, because now it's in our faces. And then one more level of that, when we do finally identify the trauma, are we helping to help fix it, to resolve it for those involved? Or are we trying to make it more comfortable and convenient for us to go back to what was, so we don't have to continue to address, fix, converse, work with? I've set the stage. I've done a lot of talking. I want to know your thoughts, because I know you counsel. I know you two were married young. You've had some and being deep down in church and all those the ideals of. I'm very interested in your thoughts on this one.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, where do we start? So I have heard, I'm trying to think. I've heard things like, don't don't put that man business out there like that, because if I've heard everything from that to, it's not that bad. Like, girl, he's coming home every night. It's not that bad. He hasn't hit you yet.
Mm-hmm.
it's not that bad.
Must be nice. Everybody ain't able. We
yeah,
ain't all got it.
yeah. Like I've heard from like people who are in positions, you have to. So like, yeah, don't disrespect him. Whatever you do, watch what you say. Maybe speak nicer to him, and just don't do that, and it'll be okay. And so I've heard all of those. I've heard the you know I've heard it all. Yeah, and so I think what we're pretty much taught is we're taught that family business is family business. And so that's not something, we don't take our business out to the streets. So we keep it inside our house. So we don't tell anybody. I've yeah, man. Ooh. I've heard a lot. I've heard how, if you have a problem, then, don't even, talk. You can talk to your mother about it. And I've seen mothers like, don't bring that to me. That's between you and your husband. I don't want to be in y'all business. Don't tell. Like I've seen that. I've seen um yeah, I've seen some pretty wild stuff. Um, I think ultimately, from a church perspective, I've seen I have to be honest in the church perspective, probably because again everybody around me, most of them just as crazy as I am, are telling people like this does like try your hardest, do if depending on what it is,
Yeah.
like he just wants some more sex, give him some more sex, okay, what's the but for the most part, it's like it's not working. Get out. So I'm fortunate that a lot of most of like my like senior leaders that I've experienced are very much so, you know, that I think one of the other crazy things that I not crazy, let's not say that. Things I used to really struggle with was this idea of like marriage. You're not supposed to be happy in marriage. Like marriage isn't to make you happy, marriage is to make you holy. And I think I wrote about that. I'm pretty sure I wrote about that in my book. I actually had no idea that there is a part of that that is true, but that's not the perpetual. It's not supposed to be a perpetual state. Like it's not saying marriage is you're not supposed to be happy in marriage. The point of what they're trying to say, but that's what we've made it. So you're not happy, that's okay. Because if you say something, I'm not happy in marriage, that's okay. Marriage ain't supposed to make you happy, it's supposed to make you holy. No, no, no. Time out.
Right. Time all
You
the way out.
you are supposed, yes, there are going to be times when it doesn't feel good and it's not enjoyable and fun and the newness. Yes. But marriage is not supposed to feel like you live in perpetual hell either.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be where you're abused, and you're not supposed to allow yourself to be in positions where your destiny is not just as important. It's not just important as his because he's a man. Like that's not at all the original design. God's original design was not, for those of us since we talked about the church aspect of it, was never for woman to be seen as less than. That was never the design because you don't take less out of you
Right.
to help to make you a suitable helper. So that's just retarded. But nevertheless. So yeah, absolutely a lot of abusiveness, a lot of demeaning, a lot of asking women to be subservient, a lot of asking women to bend over and backwards in situations that were just harmful and painful, and not really provide. And that's by men and women, and really not provide. I think culturally, especially as Black people, because so much of our understanding, Black people in America, has come from the really two things: the misuse, not misuse, yeah, the misuse of scripture, and really us trying to figure out how to be as close to the dominant culture that's in this country. We get a lot of this stuff that messes us up because again, if we go back to our original, that's not what we did. And again, that's not even originally how the Bible was. So both of the two things that we learn are really perversions of where we come from.
Say
I
more.
stop.
No,
Well,
you're
I
not.
mean, we
Just give
come
us
from a
the last 2 points you just made as far as that wasn't what we did, and that's not where we come. What
well,
are the things that aren't what we did and where we came from?
yeah, we come from, as terms of people coming from Africa, like we don't come from cultures that don't honor and esteem our women.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't come from that. In our culture, women are the esteemed.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are seen as, and I'm not saying to say there's no issues in any of our cultures. I'm
Yeah,
not going to say
right.
that. I'm not saying that. But in general, we come from places that esteem women, that see women as, valuable, beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
to be protected, to be honored, to be adored, to be, all of that. So we see that. And then the other part I was saying, like I went back to the original purpose of women in the Bible. Like the original purpose of women in the Bible, again, was it wasn't good for Adam to be alone. So God created an equal, a suitable, word is literally suitable helper, someone who was suitable enough to provide for him what he was missing to make him the man he was supposed to be, and she in turn was the woman she was supposed to be, because they were suitable
Yeah,
partners.
gotcha. Okay.
So they were supposed to have dominion over the fish, the sea, birds of the air, blah 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 blah, together
Gotcha.
under the order of what God has said. So none of
That's
those
the
have
other
been.
part. Okay. Now,
Yeah,
yeah.
none of those.
This is this has become such a deep issue for us right now, especially because we're having such conversation around therapy and talking through the things that we need and vocalizing what it is that we need, and not creating safe spaces for ourselves. So I think comments like or conversations like this one that was had within this original comment thread, and then those thereafter, as far as the situation, are going to continue. This is shifting because we've got violence on a rise. We've got different levels of abuse, not always physical, that have come from not being able to say what needs to be said. And I think we're also seeing a shift within our community. I do. And that's why these kinds of threads get the traction that they do, because you see the difference in how it used to be. We see the deficit that we're at because of so much undiscussed, unchecked, undealt with, just ridiculous that is allowed to transfer. And it's not always ridiculous. Like there are a lot of things that can be resolved if there was just someone who knew, especially for young folks
Mhm.
who have a lot of love but not a whole lot of nothing else, so they're really figuring it out. Like, so for some, if we had granted that space to say help and give it and then leave them to figure it out with the help, I think we would have a more mature, emotionally mature base of folks to work with right now. So I really, really wonder, and I'm excited for what's coming, because we are such a communicative space right now, and have all this access to help and counsel and being able to call a thing. But I really hope that that's another part of what not only the church, but a lot of just folks who are very closed, like whether it be your race or it's your church or your community or whatever the case may be, where talking just ain't your thing. I would hope that we would see that we're losing a lot more than just privacy by not having the types of conversations. We're not teaching either. We're not giving the scenarios. We're not giving the outside looking in when love. You know what I mean? To say, hey, saw that. Ever thought about trying to do it this way?
Yeah.
Hey, young blood. Y'all remember all them conversations we used to sit,
Yeah.
like we saw them and just, hey, young blood, what you doing out there? Like, hey, what
Yeah.
you like? We don't have
Yep.
so much of that anymore.
Yep.
And post pandemic, when we've been often lost in the sauce and quiet and secluded for a while, where even if you wanted to talk to somebody, you really couldn't. Like there's a lot of there's a lot to do in this
I
space.
absolutely. I think that to your point too, that we also have to realize that and seek it out. Like I think that there's a level of like that there because we're seeing this stuff more. We've got to seek it out and be willing to even if you can't provide like a solution, at least to provide space, space for conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
Because a lot of times it's just about it's back to the other post earlier, it's about just trusting that I can come into this space and share, and as I'm sharing, sometimes maybe I might gain wisdom or I might hear myself and like, okay, yeah, I am. You know what I mean? Like it's just providing again the space to be able to at least not have to hold it in.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
sometimes what I find is that we can create, if we don't talk things out or have a safe space, we can create scenarios based upon a whole bunch of random things that happen and put stuff together that don't even go together. And you're like, wait, you got that from that, but these are five separate
mm-hmm.
situations, and you don't, assumes a lot in that. So let's
Yeah,
tear this apart, and then let's really look to try to see what's going on. And a lot of times we just need that space to be able to do that, so that way we're not holding it all in and letting it all get mixed together when it's like that's not what happened at all.
mm-hmm.
That's, I've had conversations with couples, and as they're explaining like what's going on with them, the other partner's like, you just mixed four separate
Yeah,
instances into one, and that
yeah,
didn't even happen like that.
mm-hmm.
It happened like, and they're like, did it? Yeah, that's why I did this, and when this happened,
Yeah,
oh, so I think we need to also be that for people too, even if we don't have solutions.
yeah. Agreed. Agreed. So now I want to ask the other side of this, because of course there's benefits for us having the conversations for those that are potentially in danger or need to get out of a thing, and there is possible, or there could be counsel, there could be change, but going to the conversation in the comments, like there was a lot of the mention of when it's all said and done, no one knows why. That that part. Um, this is not it is not always as extreme as harm. I think we're in a space socially right now where, as for all of the advances that we're making in um therapy and counseling and having conversations, we are taking 59,000 steps backwards in giving folks the room to not to just call a thing a thing. And it's, you're either supportive of your man and all that he's doing and you gonna stand by him through thick thin or whatever, or you are trash because you identified all the negatives about this man. Why you calling this man out? You ain't supportive of the black man, or you man bashing, or whatever the case may be, because you're setting an expectation or a standard of either care or engagement or compatibility, whatever it may be. And if something, or if it's not being met and a person calls it out, then, oh, don't say that. What are you doing? Oh, that's shade. That ain't supportive. That ain't what we do. Or it is you're either supportive and to a fault and it all goes and no one gets to know anything about it, or you wrong and you shouldn't put that man's business out there like that. So what is the line that needs to be drawn in the sand, or what let's talk about that. Why are we so polarized in the honesty of setting a standard or an expectation?
Yeah, I personally think the line, if there is a line, let me ask this first, that
Mm-hmm.
the line really is going to be determined by by what's happened. But I think when I hear stuff like that, it's usually about for putting stuff like something in public spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So social media, for example. Like, and I think the problem with the what makes that problematic if we haven't had any of the kind of the stuff that's happened before that. So, or depending on what it is, like I said, if we're talking about like there are certain things that's like, okay, this needs to be community knowledge. And then there are certain things that's like, yeah, that's not community knowledge.
Yeah.
So I think we've got that part is part of it. But overall, I think that it's always got to you always have to be in a position where you have people, healthy people who you can go to expose what's wrong while at the same time still honoring what's right. Like
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean those are people.
Yeah.
People have wrongs. Everybody's got wrong stuff.
Yeah.
So we should have spaces. Did I even answer the question?
Kind
I
of,
think I
but
did.
I guess what I'm more or less wanting to know is like when, because it baffles me how when a person doesn't put all the business out there and they finally like it's understood this is not working no more, and there was either an implied or a let it slide of this is what it was, when we realize after the fact that it ain't what it was, and it's all said and it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
that could never, it's, it's
Mm.
it's it's confusing on that. But then at the other side, it's like, how are we so polarized in the you're either supportive of because you're quiet and keep it all close, or you are bashing when you're saying no, that ain't going down like y'all think it is. Like that's
Yeah.
not that. If he's not the knight in shining armor, if he's anything less than the best, are you still supportive of? Um,
Yeah.
Not necessarily putting all your business out there, even if it's just because like just a few weeks ago we talked about the sliding of the credit card, giving him the credit card to save the
Mhm.
face, and when that is good and when it's not, and why does that matter and why it doesn't. So those types of things are examples of how those types of things manifest, and how at the end folks are
Yeah.
like, how could that, well, no, we went out twice a month, we was out at the dinners and da, 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 da. Yeah, okay, but
Yeah. I think some of that
you
has to do. I think some of that too has to do with just the um with our. So I think part of it is because we don't have these conversations about like because we're taught early, like we're talking about earlier,
right.
that we're taught to only talk about the good stuff and to never talk about the things that are bad. And that's men and women. Like I
Right.
think, we should be able to have these healthy conversations where you don't feel like because somebody is talking with other people, again, healthy people, people who are not trying to, take advantage of you,
Yep.
people who are not trying, who are going to give sound counsel, all that kind of stuff. Um, but because we don't have those, then yeah, it does. We've come to this imaginary
Hmm.
thought of who this person is. Like
Mhm.
I could, for example, like I use myself, I can totally see that if people who don't know me and you only know me through social media would have an idea of who I
Oh,
am, that's not completely who I am.
me too.
I
Yep.
mean, so it's
Mhm.
like, no, I'm not always giving great like, yeah, I give great financial advice, but I mess up too sometimes. What do you mean? Like, and
You
I
do know
tell
I've been
y'all
broke
this,
before, right? Like,
and I tell y'all this, but people still have this fantasy of,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, of because of who I am. And so I think part of it is that. I think part of it is people choose to do it. I think some of it is because we don't talk about it in a healthy way. People don't recognize that you can still be absolutely phenomenal as a person and still have a part of you that's or parts of you that are
Anyway.
still jacked up and need to be accountable and called out. Like we don't want to do both for people, and so
No.
it gets us to this space like you're talking about where we can't even have these conversations because now if you do, you tearing the black man down. No, I'm not tearing the man down. I live with him.
That's my
Sleep
man.
with him every
Like,
night. Yeah. I don't want to tear him down. I'm just merely saying that you know you got to stop doing X, Y, Z.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's not helping. Like I don't think that's beneficial. But again, I think that should be something that is done in the right space. I think we have to normalize saying those things. We have to normalize showing, which the reality is we like that. I think we like the couples, the people who we see their humanity. We might not want to see too much of it, but we, you know what I mean? Like we like the fact that, okay, we can see a little level of dysfunction in said thing,
Yeah.
person, said person.
Yeah. Keeps us happy because it makes us know that we ain't as messed up as we thought we were.
Yeah.
Their messed up looks like a little like mine, or sometimes it's worse, and that's okay too. Like, whoo,
Yeah,
not as bad as I could have been.
for me.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I just think that to kind of, I guess now shut up. I think that the thing that we have to realize is that, especially for women, that there is this, that this is there, that there are a lot of things that you all hold in, that is not expressed. And I would encourage ladies to stop doing that. Stop holding everything in. Again, not suggesting you have to put all the man's business
Right.
out, but find you safe people who you can say, hey, this is what's going on. Find you safe people who you know will show up for you,
Right.
and and don't make them all women.
Contrary to popular belief.
Because there's a couple of ladies that, that I have the type of relationship with. They know, and I'll roll up for them if you need me to roll up. We good? Okay? So and it's not in a disrespectful way or anything like that. It's just you all need that. You all
Yep.
need that, and that's fair. That's only fair that you have that kind of space. And I think my other thing would be is when you find that, then demand that there is not just comfort but accountability.
Yeah, I agree. I'm team talk it out. I've always kind of side-eyed the whole keep it to yourself. Although in lots of ways I've rolled with it because when you don't have the safe space, you don't have the safe space. So that creates silence regardless. So, it's one of those things. But, once you identify those safe spaces, use them because it's not healthy long term. It's not about the comfort of the people that you're confiding in. It's about the long term um, health of you and your relationship. So you need to have a conversation with someone who can look at it from if this works and if it doesn't work. How is everybody going to be okay? However, this figures itself out. And I think those are that's the type of counsel that makes it so you reduce the need to cover. You have the tools to actually coexist in a way that doesn't create the need to cover. Like we now have been able to deal with whatever it was. So now we can just be, you know what I mean, differently. But every relationship, we say it all the time, every person is different, every relationship is different. So why is it that we think that this one standard set of relationship rules and ways of working is going to work for every relationship and every person, knowing that these factors, these variables change literally with every relationship. So I think it's smart to identify and make those people aware that they are your safe people, so that when you happen to say a thing and it might not have set it up with all the right disclosures and disclaimers and asterisks and things and footnotes to say, okay, so I got a thing I need to say to you, and I need you to put on your safe person hat. Like don't do that. Like you got to let your people know that they are your people, so that when you're having random conversation and you're not saying the thing that you need to say but don't know that you need to say, they're picking up, they're aware of. And that doesn't mean that they're constantly looking for things to counsel you on as far as your relationship is concerned. But they know that I am a safe person. This person has told me that I am one of their people. So that means they trust me with what they see and tell me and what they don't see and don't say to me, because they know that they can trust me with that. So if I see something that they ain't saying, it is my role, it is my responsibility, that's my job to at least slide them to the side and be like, so I saw such and such. We good? Okay, cool. Carry on. We good? Good. If you're not, today, tomorrow, any other time, holler at me. I got you. We can talk it through. We good. And that's all that's necessary. It's not adding a seed of doubt or anything. It's adding a safe place where you don't know that you need it. And that is what community is. We've removed a lot of our community, the care part of what community does. It ain't just picking all the babies up in the neighborhood and making sure everybody get where they're supposed to go. Those are acts of service, and they are beautiful, and they are rooted in a lot of care and love. But the actual intention, the intimacy, the time that it takes to actually invest in the well-being of a person, a couple, a family, a community, takes effort in a different type of way. It takes energy in a different type of way. So, and it takes accountability from all parts. The ones who are saying you're my safe person and the person that's accepting being that safe person. So we all have to stay observant. We all have to stay aware and honest in what it is that we're doing for each other. So I loved the quick thread. It was just 2 shares, and I thought to myself, oh man, like these are the types of that feeling that we get. I know for women who have gone through these different stages, when we finally do have a woman who don't give no dams about what them people got to say about my story, and they gonna tell you what they got to tell you and say, baby, this might not even be you, okay, but I'm gonna tell you it's out there, and was my story, and this is where I messed up, this is where they messed up, this is how I fell out in it, this is how I healed. This, like, those testimonies, those transparent, true, honest, real, we're gonna cry through this story, we're gonna laugh through this story, we're gonna be besties, color purple type feelings when we get through those type of sister circles. That community is what has helped healing happen, which has helped renew grace and patience for some of these women who have said, you know what, we can't give up on the fellas. We can't. We ain't got time. We need them. You know what I mean? That's where that comeback happens, that full circle. Because if we stop it at the height of the emotion, the mad, the trauma, the pain, the indiscretion, we don't ever get back to the lesson part of it. The how do we grow from it? How do we get better? How did I stop doing that stupid shit? You know what I mean? Like, how do we learn how to get out of the loop that life keeps us on if we don't ever have someone who broke out of the loop? If you don't know, you could be sitting right next to a sister who done looped no more because she done, and she got a story to tell. She got the cheat codes that we talked about earlier on how to not loop yourself up into some foolishness. So like that, and the same thing is for men. But I know for women, and for some young women, I've been that truth teller to say, listen here, sis, that's cute now, but hey, you know. And then I've had women who have been that woman for me. Listen here, little girl. Like, and at 38 years old, I'm very much still some little girl sometimes, you know, in the way that I move. And that is the circle. That's, you know, needed. What I mean? So I think we really, really, really have to think about that. We could save ourselves a lot of trauma in and out of relationships by just talking to each other. Just talking. That's it.
And allowing people to talk.
Yeah. It's one of the best things that I found in the women that I'm around right now, that we don't have to talk every day. We don't have to talk every week. There are some folks that I can slide in and we pick up like we never stop talking, like never stop, like we do talk daily. But there is a bond there. There's an understanding. There is a camaraderie. There is a intimacy because we see each other. I can reach out to you and know that you got me. That is what we need that. So that was my final thoughts too. So don't ask me nothing about no final thoughts. I nutshelled it. We need each other and we need our words. Use our words.
Yeah. And I think we also need to provide space when you don't have words.
Yes.
It's okay to not have words. Again, sometimes it's okay to just be in the space.
Yes.
I just need the space. I got a lot going on. I just need some space.
Just sit with me. Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to, again, we don't have to have solutions. Sometimes we just got to be the people. So again, don't hide. I don't think you should have to hide. I do
No.
think you should use wisdom. Use wisdom, because there's some men and women out there who sitting, who waiting, and who, there's definitely, like, I'm very selective, because I know if I ever have to have somebody, had to talk to somebody and say something, they'd be like, yes, she's terrible. And all along, they like, I'm about to get him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
gotta watch
Yep.
out for him. But at the same time, once you find your space, your people, you gotta talk. You gotta, or just say, hey, I need to. It's heavy right now.
Yep. Yep. And over time, your people ain't even gonna need you to show up. They gonna come find you.
Mm-hmm.
I got about 5, 6 that come find me. They coming to find you, girl. Like, and I mean, you've been quiet. You've been.
We know your patterns at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So now, once we know your patterns, like, oh, something ain't right. Hold on. Yep. And mine do the same. Every so often, I get a text. I ain't heard from you. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Checking in. Well, there are people who do. I do the same thing. Hey, I'm just checking in. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I got this going on. Okay. Yep. So go get you some elegance. Again, join our Patreon so we can keep these going.
Yes, Patreon.
Please.
We have so much to give.
Go and sign up. Y'all go and get, if you want to be a part of my Money Academy, workwithwinford.com. And let's get a free training. Actually, no. DM me if you want to do that. If you haven't signed up, if you haven't gotten my free training, go to workwithwinford.com and get that. But if you want to do the Money and Relationship Academy, then DM me. Yes. Get you some elegance by design.
Yes, please. Thank you so kindly.
That's it. That's all I got. You got anything else?
I'm going to give me a bowl of spaghetti and then a pillow.
Listen.
In that order.
I think I'm going to start with the pillow.
I haven't eaten since 11 o'clock, though. So I'm going to need that spaghetti or else sleep ain't happening. My tummy ain't going to let sleep happen without the spaghetti.
Listen, I'm taking these contacts out. It's right here.
I did something to my neck during the show. I turned my head a little bit ago. So spaghetti, Flexeril, then pillow. I done something and it ain't right now. So yeah.
Thank you to Candace. We haven't seen you in a while, so thank you. Glad for you to be here. Thank you. Appreciate you. If there's any other new people, if this is your first time, please make sure you let us know. We appreciate you for being here. To my old faithful ones, we love y'all. Saw Alyssa, saw Mama Turner in the comments. Yeah.
We missed you, Shanae. I know you're going to get this replay. We missed you, sis.
KG, Isaac, Jamaica B. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week. Have a good show.
Night.
Hit the mem boxes if you guys post for us. I already got one for next week.